Hi everyone, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com. I have one L in my first name if you're looking for me on my website. I'm a Creative Memories advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this scrapbook layout using our Croptoberfest collection for 2025. I started with this sketch. This is a sketch that I created, but it originated from Creative Memories, and it had extra stuff on it, and I just sort of changed it up a little bit and made it my own. So I'm going to show you how to make this, and I'm also going to show you how to make two other pages that look completely different than this using the same sketch. Here's a quick look at it if you want to take a screenshot of it. Okay, so I love this collection. I have used so much of this paper right here that I've run out of it. I've got to order some more. But I'm going to show you everything I used to make this. I've got extra cardstock, more than I really need, but just to show you the variety that I use. This is the background paper, which is this. This orange is this right here. And then I used a hot fudge, which is a dark brown, to punch out a row of these acorns and leaves with our border maker system. And then these leaves, there were some green ones and some light brown ones. There's this paper for the light brown, this paper for the green, and then these little acorns right here are just a different shade of brown, and then they're topped with the hot fudge right here, and then my photo mats are hot fudge. And these are embellishments that come with the Croptoberfest 2025 collection. And I also think this might be pretty with like a yellow gold strip right here. I picked orange. I like it, but you know, you could play around with it and try some different things. Okay, well, let's get started. I'm going to set this aside. And let's start with making our orange strip right here. I believe it was an inch, maybe an inch and a half. Let's see. Inch and a half. So I'm going to grab my trimmer from Creative Memories and place my cardstock in here and line it up at the 1 inch mark, which is right here. That's the 1 inch mark. Line it up there. And make sure it follows that grid line all the way down to keep it straight, and make sure it's straight at the top. Oh, I said 1.5. I apologize. I do that all the time. So let's go to 1.5. It's 1.5 inches right here. Make sure it follows that grid line all the way down and cut. There we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is to cut a row, or punch a row of dark brown, which is the background for this leaf and acorn chain. That's a new border maker cartridge for this fall. And I'm going to grab my border maker system. This is my paper tray holder. This is my cartridge holder. And this is the acorns and leaves border maker cartridge. So I'm going to place that in here. Kind of clean off things real quick. And I'm going to open my paper tray holder and pop it in place. Put my hot fudge cardstock in here, line it up with all the edges. These are like raised areas on here, and line it up and close my magnetic arm. Then pop this underneath. That's the paper tray holder. That you don't need it when you're actually doing your punching. And then I'm going to put my cardstock right in here, and I like to start closest to me. So I'm going to start with my edges like right up against each other. These two notches match up. Let me put this up here. There's a little blue notch and a little white notch. They match up, and when they do, this metal piece fits into little grooves underneath like this, sort of like a puzzle. Okay, so I'm going to hold this down with my left hand pretty firm and punch. Pull it out just a little bit, and you'll feel it fall back in place, and push it back in place. Your notches match up again, and punch, and you basically just do that all the way till you get a 12-inch board. Okay, and I would save this strip. I do lots of things with these strips, so I always encourage you to save your scraps. And then you can look at these scraps and see if there's anything you think you could do with them. Definitely, I would keep these things that punch out. I'm going to do a whole lesson on a variety of things you can do with these, but we are going to use these in today's video. And then I actually saved these, and I have another video that I'm going to show you where I use these, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to set all this aside, save this stuff. And y'all, I have a bin like this. It's basically just a plastic lid to my containers. And whenever I have scraps that I think I can use, I just put them in here. And then at the end of the day, or after a couple of days, I'll file them away where they go. I believe in saving scraps. I think you all know that, and I use them all the time. So you could just like put this down beside your table in front, scoop your scraps that you want to scoop in here, and set that aside. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to move this over. Oh, real quick, I want to tell you, I would also cut a row of green and this light brown and this darker brown out of that same cartridge, because that's where I got the light brown, the green, and then the darker brown, but it's not as dark as the hot fudge. So I'm not going to do that because I've already done that, but I would punch those out as well. But just to save time, we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so here's my background paper. Here's my sample. And here's my orange piece. So what I want to do now is take this row that I just punched out. Sorry, I'm moving all over the place here. And basically mount this here. Now, I don't love that at the ends you have half of an acorn, so I'm going to cut those off so it'll look finished like this, like a finished leaf on each end. I'm going to grab my scissors, my micro scissors, and just cut that little half acorn off, and then just kind of go around that leaf to make it look like a nice finished edge, to look like that, and do the same thing over here. Okay, these micro scissors are so good they're just super sharp and they're small. They get in the grooves really, really well. Okay, so now I'm going to mount this down right here with the acorns facing up. I'm going to grab this. You can use this or like a silicone mat, but this is something I got out of a secret box with Creative Memories, and it repels your repositionable tape runner, and so it's good to use when you're doing things so you don't get repositionable tape runner on your desk. So here we go. I'm going to have my repositionable tape runner. When I store this, it's like that keeps stuff from getting stuck to your adhesive. But when I want to use it, excuse me, I push this back so it frees up my pointy edge, which has the adhesive on it. And when I use it, I press down on the pointy edge and then just pull toward me. And I do it sometimes in little dabs. On things like this, I will do more because I want this to kind of basically become like a sticker. So I'm going to put a lot of this on the back here, since it's got all these little intricate pieces. Okay, now I'm going to mount that on here. I need to come over just a little bit. And the fact that I used repositionable is great because I can pick it up and move it around to center it up better. And also, this comes out in little clear dots they're transparent. And that way it doesn't show through all the holes like the cutouts here. So I'm going to, and again, I'll need to get it over to the left just a little bit. This just shows repositionable is good because you can pick it up and move it around. I just need to move it over just a tad. Okay, I think that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so now I'm going to just press this down. I don't know what happened here. it didn't cut. This is an example of, look, it didn't punch out right. I don't know why. So I'm going to cut this off and then punch another little bit and piece it together. I just realized that, or maybe I can just cut around it. I don't know what happened there. I must have moved or something, because that does not look like an acorn. Okay, so let's use these micro scissors and go around it and just make it look like it's supposed to. That's good enough, and then put it back down. Yeah, okay, I'm good with that. So let's press down. Actually, it's still not perfect, but I'm not gonna go back and finish that just for the sake of, I don't want this video to take forever. Okay, so I have that. Now, I have cut out these. So what I want to do, like right here, I want to put green on top of here, okay? And you can offset it a little bit, sort of make it look like it has like a shadow effect. You want to make sure it's going in the same direction. So I'm going to cut around that leaf and cut around this leaf. Okay, and use my little mat so I won't get sticky stuff on my table. And this is going to go, that's a little bit pointy. I'm going to trim that up. This is going to go right here. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back, again, repositionable, and place that on top here and just offset it a little so that it looks like it has like a little bit of a shadow effect with the brown. It just gives it a little bit more definition. Okay, and then I'm going to take, these are the little things that punched out. I'm going to put that back in here to make it look like the middle of the leaf. I'm going to put a lot of tape runner on that and be very careful so it won't bend on you. And just put that in there. Okay. And if you see some orange, you just need to move it over a little bit. Oh, I did it backwards. That's why. Let's just start over. Let's do it. So it needs to go like that. Yeah. So I'm going to put some more here. Be careful, because when it's little intricate pieces, they can bend on you. Yeah, that's going to be way better. And you want to just position it so you don't see that orange poking through. So now it looks more like a legit leaf. And then I'll do one more with this lighter brown. So you could do that right here. I'm not going to actually do it, but this is the look you would get if you kept doing it. You would put like a light brown here, green, light brown, green, light brown. Now for your acorns, I wanted those to look like a two-toned acorn. So I'm going to grab my brown paper. This is lighter than the hot fudge. And punch, I thought I had already done this, but I did not. So I'm going to take out, oh no, the cartridge is in there. So I've got the acorn cartridge in here. Now, I am going to punch a little bit of these out. Just a couple. Just like I did before. Actually, I'll do a whole row and you can just see how fast I go with this. Again, save my scraps because I'm going to do something with those. Save this. I'll do something with that later. Okay, so now for my acorn. And I just noticed, I really think this is a slightly lighter green than this. I would use this color because you can see a more distinct difference between the brown and the green. I picked one that was a little too dark, but you get the idea, right? Okay, so now I'm going to cut out one of these little acorns and just follow along the way it should be if it was an individual little acorn. And it'll be easier to do this. with my micro scissors. I think it's really good to use the micro scissors because they're really intricate here. Okay, so I'll put that there. I'm going to cut this little top off, and I'm going to put some adhesive behind this and mount my little acorn right here. And then I want to put, and I gave it a little outline just by offsetting it just a tad off of that hot fudge. Now I'm going to grab a hot fudge strip that I cut out, and I really just want the top of this little acorn. I'm going to cut around the little, I would call it like a little cap that goes on top of the acorn. Right, and then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of that with my repositionable tape runner. And then just kind of cap it off and give it a little top. So that gives it a little bit of dimension, some different tones of color, and I really like it. So I would go all the way down, and then this is the look that I would get. And I would, again, put my little branches, the little inside of the leaves that punch out, I would put those on the inside. And then I would just mount this down with a repositionable tape runner and put it here, and pretty easy. So that's that. Now I would add photos here, and I just sort of angled these a little bit. And I always, this is 4x5 photo, and I always do my mats. I like a skinny mat, so I do it 1/4 of an inch bigger than the photo. So that's how I got those, and I used hot fudge. And then I just added these embellishments. These little embellishments come with the Croptoberfest collection, and here they are. They're just little cardboard kind of feeling things that are photo safe. I would put that there, this here, and then add a little flower and add that. And then I've got my page. So it's really easy, and I think it's cute. I like it. And I do think it would be fun to try it with the yellow gold here and just see if that might give it a different look. And I might even like it better. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 other pages that I did with this. That was the fall page using the new Croptoberfest products. This one is a patriotic page using our All-American Blast collection, which was for this past July. And I believe we still have this currently. So I'll just walk through what I did here. The background is this really fun tie-dye look. And this I cut to, that's also 1.5 inches. I cut that with this blue paper. I added white sticker letters to say God Bless America. And then I matted my photos with white cardstock, and then I just added these stickers from this sticker strip. So that's it. That looks completely different, just using different colors and themes of paper. And then I have one more to show you. I really do like this layout. This is another patriotic kind of idea, well, sort of a summer parade, 4th of July idea, using the Adventure Parks collection. I did a scrapbook crop for my Creative Memories advisor team a few weeks ago, and I made these ideas for that using 4th of July stuff, and then I just wanted to revise it for Croptoberfest using fall stuff. So anyway, this is using this paper for the background. I matted my photos with white cardstock. I cut this, and I cut this a little bit skinnier to 1 inch, this light blue piece. Then I cut a row of navy blue or dark royal blue sunglasses with the Border Maker system, and it works just the same way the leaves do. This is the sunglasses cartridge. And then I cut a row of red, and I put the blue one down first, and then I put the red one down on top and just offset it just a tiny bit so you could just see a little bit of that blue to give it kind of a dimension or a shadow look. And then I added these die cuts and stickers, which are here. This parade, I cut that off and tucked it underneath there, and then added these fireworks. So that is 3 different layouts using the same technique. And they all have different looks. I think that is one of my favorite sketches. I like it a lot. All right, y'all have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed that. Bye.